a couple times on the pod. Pretty boring show, in my opinion. Nothing too much to stand out. What was your take from the night?
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was pretty predictable, right? I mean, I got 19 of my 24 picks right, and the ones I got wrong were all the small ones. I got like all the documentary ones wrong, and I got visual effects and best picture wrong. Everything else we nailed. The actors were as predictable as they were all year. The screenplays both went to Get Out and Call Me by Your Name, kind of what we thought. So, and then Dunkirk and Shape of Water split all the technical stuff more or less, and then Deakins got cinematography. It was kind of everything we really talked about, except for Best Picture, which we didn't really have no one really had a handle on.
Yeah, overall, I think the main takeaway for me was a lot of really good films this year didn't win anything, and that's going to be the thing I think we take away, is that there's so much quality that came out of this year. Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, two movies that stand out to me as movies that kind of defined the year. In movies, came away with nothing. And
well, Phantom Thread got costume design, actually.
Right. None of the big ones, I guess. Yeah. Right. Costume design, though. I mean, if they didn't get costume design.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, why don't ones? We talk Chalk, Best Actor, and Supporting Actress, Allison Janney. Those are the categories I think we kind of knew. From those, is there anything that we can take away for future Oscars, or for what kind of roles are gaining these awards or winning these awards?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the analysis around Laurie Metcalf versus Allison Janney is that the Academy, at least this year, was more a fan of the bad mom than the difficult mom, even though the difficult mom was a better role and a more interesting performance. So they kind of want the showy stuff. Frances McDormand, very showy performance. Even Sam Rockwell. And obviously Janney, the only one that's kind of measured is Oldman, but that's also showy as well because it's all makeup and it's an historical character. So, I mean, for all four roles, they rejected the more nuanced guy with Chalamet and Willem Dafoe and Saoirse Ronan. So, but again, that's what we expected would happen, and it happened.
Yeah, the historical biopic is to dominate these categories. You think about one of these was done to the level of Darkest Hour was Lincoln, and Daniel Day-Lewis that role. And like you said, I think your analysis is spot on. The more flashy roles are the ones that get honored, kind of leaving the more measured and calculated roles. Unfortunately, by the way, I was watching with Julianne, who I've talked about on the podcast before, and she said, "What was the Laurie Metcalf really that money?" And I was like, "No." She actually wasn't, but Allison Janney's pod was just a lot more.
Exactly.
It's really too bad. Another big award, Best Picture. So that was probably the least predictable award of the night. Although we had an idea, going to be Three Billboards or Shape, kind of getting a late charge in socially. Water was about Shape of Water over Three Billboards for this particular award show.
Well, I guess Shape of Water just kind of had more support overall. I know the directors and producers liked it more. Three Billboards just had all those acting support. But hey, I mean, look at the Oscars tonight. Three Billboards only won 2 awards, and they were both acting awards. It didn't get any other smaller awards. And looking back, Shape of Water definitely had a much bigger advantage, just more well liked throughout. And while I don't, as we've talked about last week, SoundCloud Contest Nostalgia Pod on YouTube, Shape of Water versus Three Billboards was kind of very similar to past races we've had with the Best Picture, Best Director split. But I guess it just Three Billboards just overall as a film just wasn't as popular. It didn't get the screenplay win, which kind of killed it. But I thought with Get Out winning Best Original Screenplay, maybe it had a chance, But Shape of Water won all those other awards, so I guess it's just like, all right, well, we already like Del Toro. let's just pick that as well. It's weird because, anecdotally and on social media, you hear this with the press a lot. The movie doesn't have so many stans or passionate fans so much. It just has people making the fish sex joke and overdoing that, and then other people saying, "Hey, it's not as bad as you're saying it is." But those are people saying it's not as bad as you're saying it is. They're not people saying that they love the movie or that the movie's amazing. Like I think, like we said when we first talked about it, for a movie that has fish sex, it's somehow not as weird as you'd think, and it's kind of simple, and that's still kind of my takeaway. I think, the themes about inclusivity and differences with people and whatnot, they're good, but I still don't know if the message is that profound. It's kind of all spot on. It's a fairy tale. So, but that's what they picked.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the point you made, the overall, the Waters won, because it seems like that was kind of the theme running throughout most of the Oscars tonight, was inclusivity, taking people who haven't had a voice, and quite literally in Shape of Water, Sally Hawkins' character doesn't have a voice, and she has a disability, and the way that, and inclusion, and able to find meaning and just be able to be herself in her life, kind of is what the Oscars focus on. There's even that male women in the field talking about why it's so important to be making these diverse stories. And Shape of Water just, in retrospect, almost seems like the obvious choice based on that. But with Three Billboards winning and so many other,
yeah,
it would have been foolish credit it coming in. I wanted to ask you, like the smaller awards, or maybe not as flashy, which out to you tonight? Which ones were you most pumped about?
Yeah, well, so Dunkirk won sound editing, sound mixing, and film editing. It was favored in all of those, but so Baby Driver didn't sneak in, and Shape of Water didn't, dominate technically. So when I saw that, I was expecting that maybe Shape of Water would have a quieter night. It came away with 4 awards, obviously 2 of the biggest ones, of director and picture, but 10 of the last 12 movies to get at least 13 nominations won 5 times. Shape of Water only won 4 times, but I guess it kind of just speaks to they kind of spread around the technical stuff. I mean, production design, Shape of Water was favored and it won. Original song favored for Coco. It did win. Greatest Showman did not 11th Hour sneak in there, despite some buzz about that. Original score, Shape of Water was favored. It did win. Despite these win before. A Fantastic Woman, the best foreign language film, that was the favorite. It won. So it's like costume design, Phantom Thread was the favorite. It won. Like cinematography, Deakins was really the favorite. I know we didn't believe it because he never had won before, and we thought they would shaft him, but he won. So, and of course, Coco was the favorite, and it basically had no competition. It was the only movie nominated, as far as I'm concerned. So, all those smaller awards were exactly what you expected. And even if you bet $100 on every single favorite, you would have made a killing. That's despite a lot of those odds being terrible, just because everything was so chalk.
Yeah, I think the only real surprise probably was original screenplay, which went to Jordan Peele for Get Out. And that was probably the best moment of the night. Not only did it get probably the biggest reaction on Twitter, but also you could feel the excitement in the room when he won. Get Out gained a lot of steam over the last probably like 3 or 4 days after we recorded, of people saying it could win Best Picture. This is also kind of in the sphere of The Ringer, which I think their website was especially pushing for it.
Right. Preferential ballot was the main reasoning.
Exactly. But there was also the story that came out before that older Academy voters weren't even acknowledging the movie and weren't willing to even watch it. Kind of points to the meaning, and what it talked about. But man, Jordan Peele winning that award was so fucking awesome. I was so pumped.
Yeah. It's like, I was thinking, the Best Picture winner is not
right.
Is maybe the Best Picture, but no Best Picture winner has won without a film nom, get out to not have that nom, and sure enough, it didn't win. But I was starting to think that there was a chance when Peele won, because Shape of Water wasn't running away with technicals. Dunkirk was still winning a lot. So I figured chance, especially with 3 billboards now. So, but alas, how close it was, honestly. We talked about this last week, seeing, amongst the guild members and stuff, just very curious, how close was it, Johnny tweeted, I don't know if that was a joke, but and any voting detail would be fascinating, especially with this year. The Academy's newer, but not totally flipped over. So I don't know.
It would be awesome.
Pretty predictable.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to see that it was, but it's I think one of the down was inclusivity, and that came out in a lot of forums. They did video montages. I think notably it was I can't remember who it was for cinematography that did the award, but then Emma Stone, when she was presenting for Best Director, acknowledged that Greta Gerwig was the only female director nominated, and Frances also in her accepted a really
that was
message. Yeah, Corbin, for as much as I think she can be a little out there, really like when she dropped the hammer,
right?
Good on her because of the message.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just a stunt too. It was talking about financing movies, something that women struggle to do in Hollywood. They'll get smaller budgets, or they'll be paid significantly less for no reason other than they're being women. It's an important point to make.
Yeah.
And I'm actually happy with that, because I know a lot of people have kind of been down on her speeches throughout the year, but clearly she was saving the one that actually mattered the most for the big night, which obviously makes sense. So good on her. What'd you think of Jimmy Kimmel? I thought his opening was great. He touched on basically everything. Harvey Weinstein, Time's Up, Me Too, all the money in the world fiasco, some historical firsts for nominations. It felt like he really covered everything, and there was good jokes.
Yeah, no, it was a very Kimmel performance. He didn't shy away from anything. He did the stunt of going to surprise people and get like real reactions in the showing for the I call it the Oprah movie now, the Wrinkle in Time. Overall, I thought he was okay. Nothing really that I think we're gonna look back on and say like, wow, Kimmel crushed that, or we're gonna be seeing. But overall, I thought, honestly, the thing that stole the show for me were the montages, like the 90th Oscar.
Yeah,
like
I saw some negative buzz on that, dude.
Really?
Did you see that? Yeah, people were like, "Oh, the Oscars, why are they so far up their own ass? They gotta tell us how much they love movies." And I'm like, "Yeah, but did you see all of those scenes? Like, it was."
But dog, did you see it? Did you see it? Like, it was so awesome.
And like the walking bit to the Chinese theater was probably too long, but also the hot dog cannons were an immediate meme.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny. And then shout out to Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, Armie Hammer too, who apparently he was battling through the flu, but looked like $1 million in that red velvet suit. Oof.
Oh, doesn't he always?
and especially while I was holding a hot dog cannon, goddamn.
Yeah, hell yeah.
One of the other things I had written down here was what a night for Mexico, man. Coco, just overall, for Mexico, and they could talk about inclusion and immigration, and I find it interesting. This just like a side last 5 best direction.
Yeah, it's been a great run. Cuarón, Iñárritu twice, and now Del Toro. All the stud directors for Mexico have all won. It's pretty nuts.
Crazy.
But yeah, good for them. I mean, Coco won twice too. So it's you gotta be happy. It's awfully timely. For obvious reasons.
One thing I had written down here is a nice touch was Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty. Best Picture. Yeah.
I didn't first, but as it wasn't really their fault. They just kind of had an old people moment, decided to announce it with the wrong card.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought
it,
that was funny. And Wesley Morris, which probably was unrealistic, but yeah, I thought overall of the whole thing fiasco last year pretty well. It was pretty funny.
yeah, they had to play a
Mm-hmm.
couple down here. Documentary Icarus. Now you text me right
Yep.
away saying this is a bit of an upset, and this is a Netflix film, right? Netflix owned property.
Yes.
So
Look for Netflix.
what do you think that? Yeah, what do you think that this means for Netflix moving forward?
Well, they're just probably gonna make more documentaries. You know, they announced their very ambitious plan to release 80 films in 2018, which is more than all of the 6 major studios combined. So from 2017, so 80 movies, unless they just continue to make lots of movies that aren't that great, like Mute Cloverfield Paradox. You know, they'll just bulk them out. But either way, reputation with documentaries. They've had several of these nominations and movies that have been
Yep.
you know, noticed before and they actually get one win. And yeah, I think they're just becoming a destination for documentaries, which is obviously great for them because they want to be a destination for everything. But yeah, I mean, so Icarus was kind of like this, like the second place expectation. Phases Places was the favorite. Same thing with documentary Short Subject. Edith and Eddie was the favorite, but Heaven is a Traffic Jam on the 405 one. And then live action short film DeKalb Elementary was the heavy favorite, but The Silent Child actually won. So those are 3 of the ones I got wrong, but I haven't seen any of those anyway. But I've heard Icarus is pretty cool. And again, it's on the flick, so easy to watch.
Yeah, you know, I wonder if this will not only validate Netflix in the eyes of a lot of that they've been nominated for documentaries in the past, but being nominated for Mary J. Blige getting nomination there, and it was also Best Picture nom, right? So,
for what?
Was it Best Picture as well? Mudbound. I'm having a
no, it wasn't.
moment here,
Nope.
but yeah, Mary J. Blige getting the nomination
For
supporting actress for that, and also getting I think a Best Original or Best Original Screenplay or Best Adapted.
It got what is it? Adapted screenplay. It's based on the book.
Adapted.
And the song she sings, "Mighty River," was nominated as well.
So they got some major noms. I wonder if this will almost like give people the permission to vote for a non big screen entity, or maybe
and exactly.
But like you said, it depends on the quality.
Yeah, and that's the thing because it's tough to say how popular Mudbound is because obviously Netflix never releases any information, so none of us really have much of an idea of how many people watched it. I mean, obviously all the critics reviewed it, but it didn't do that great at the award shows, you know. So, you know, hopefully this continues to raise the profile of Netflix as a serious place for film and documentaries. I thought, you know, Blade Runner winning twice, visual effects, which I didn't expect, and then cinematography, of course, but I thought was nice because in the office, as we talked about last fall. So I think it was a nice acknowledgement that, yes, that movie is awesome. And it's kind of a shame that it didn't make its money back.
Yes, that movie is awesome. Yeah, definitely. You know, actually, that kind of leads me to this is a question that kept coming up for me throughout. What do you think is going to be the movie or movies like 3, 4, 5 years we're actually still going to be talking about from this year? You know, for me, obvious. I think. What do you say?
It's Get Out, obviously. That's the most culturally relevant, resonant, popular of the whole bunch. After that, heck, I mean, Call Me by Your Name has a very devout fandom, as our channel has benefited from. So,
shout out to you.
Yeah, Dunkirk, I guess, just because it's a Nolan film, will be remembered. Shape of Water to a certain extent, just because it's like, well, Del Toro won for that one, when Pan's Labyrinth was probably his better movie. But yeah, I think Three Billboards will kind of, you know,
phase out
the wayside, just because it was a very takey movie by the end. I mean, I like Fennessy's tweets. Like, great, now Sam Rockwell can get back to just being a ambient performer that we all like, and we don't have to be all opinionated about the character he's playing, which I think is a good observation, because Sam Rockwell's pretty funny and pretty cool.
Yeah.
And this is probably just him winning for Galaxy Quest in disguise. So we'll take it.
I agree. I think Get Out makes a lot of sense. I think Lady Bird will have legs, especially for women, as like a coming of age tale for sure. Call Me by Your Name's a good call. And of course, like this didn't win any of the awards, but I actually think Star Wars: The Last Jedi is going to have major like force in 3 years. But that's because Star Wars is just a freaking machine at this point, like we talked about.
The biggest movie of the year usually is remembered, after the year is over.
Yeah,
so
just like,
I expect that.
I have a feeling we're going to be talking about Black Panther this time next year. So be interesting to see how that moves superhero prestige forward. Well, what else do you want to talk about from Oscars Day? What else stood out to you?
I mean, Kobe Bryant got his 6th ring. I saw multiple tweets from people I follow that I respect, saying that Dear Basketball isn't that good, which is, and then I think there's actually mixed reaction to him winning, because he obviously was accused of rape in the early 2000s. It's kind of goes against me too. So, I mean, we've kind of talked about, I mean, even Gary Oldman has had some shady stuff in his past around that same time. So we've kind of talked about before about there's kind of levels to everything around that. I mean, Aziz Ansari story comes to mind. So, how you handle that at award shows, it's, I don't know how absolute be. We're still figuring all that out, but some people were kind of ticked. But I mean, I don't think this vastly changes anyone's opinion of Kobe Bryant. I think most people have made that up one way or the other. So I don't think it's that painful.
Hey man, I mean, he changed numbers from 8 to 24. So once he did that, totally new guy. We can forgive him now, right?
That's true.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I was, when I saw Kobe won, I was like, God damn, like, because people automatically on Twitter were just like, oh my God, Kobe Bryant won an Oscar. But then I was like,
just like 3 6 Mafia did.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that Kobe Bryant and 3 6 Mafia together have more awards than than Leonardo DiCaprio, 2 more than Stanley Kubrick is just ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yep. That's how it goes.
Let's see. Anything else that stood out to you?
Jordan Peele becomes the first Black winner for Best Original Screenplay, and only the 4th black man even nominated. But yeah, finally making some history there. That's great. James Ivory becomes the oldest Oscar winner at 89 for adapting Call Me by Your Name. So that's cool. It's funny if Mudbound had also won, or won instead, she would have been the oldest winner, because she's, I think, oldest, because she's 8 days older than. There's some weird, like, conflicting record potential there. Like, the mantle from the oldest when he won a few years ago for acting.
Gotcha.
This was also the year Chalamet was the youngest Best Actor nominee in 60 years or whatever it was. So you got both ends of the spectrum there. But I mean, it was kind of predictable for the past 6 weeks, right? And the Get Out story became the Get Out story, but at the end of the day, most of the big stuff was what was expected. I mean, I really thought War for the Planet of the Apes was winning visual effects. Circus, they didn't win any visual effects awards for that whole trilogy. I think that's just
a travesty.
But yeah, but I mean, that's a stacked category, and Blade Runner, I'm not hating on Blade Runner. I love those effects. I just think the mocap, so exemplary. Crazy. And alas, it's okay. It's a minor award.
Yeah, I think what I'm sitting here with mostly is, how do we make these awards less predictable? Because this award show was honestly pretty boring to me. I found myself spending a lot more time engaged with my phone and trying to find things that interested me on there rather than the award show. And I think, honestly, when I think back to this award show or this Oscars, it's probably be a detriment that not only did they have such clear standout performances that you pretty much knew were going to win for acting, but the fact that with the Olympics, giving it more time between when those award shows ended and then when it happened, it just had so many weeks to dissect it and pretty much say, oh, this. So probably next year we will around it that we did, but man,
Yeah, no,
I just hope close week.
Yeah, I mean, it was a unique year in the sense that it was a very strong year, but also, I mean, as we talked about in the predictions episode, there were a handful of races that were stronger than others in terms of like the full 5 nominees, you know? So I don't know. I just think a lot of groupthink kind of sat in, but it's not that I think they got really anything wrong, you know? It's just, I think, you know, it just kind of got hashed out so much, you know? But yeah, I mean, to your point about the entertainment value, I mean, in general, it's obviously it's too long a show. It always is. Like the whole thing going to the Chinese theater, like you probably could have saved 10 minutes if you didn't do that. But I mean, I don't know. They give out a lot of awards and there's a few bits in between. You know, I don't know, what are you going to cut a performance or something? Or, you know, everyone's mad some people are mad about that 90 years montage. But I mean, what is that, 45 seconds long? I mean, it's going to be long either way.
I could honestly do without the performances of the original songs. Like, yeah, I get it.
I've heard the songs already. You know,
put it on Spotify. I'll go listen to it if I want to. Don't make me listen through it.
But you know, the whole notion that if we, you know, use the full 10 Best Picture nominees and get a Coco in there, maybe get a Last Jedi or Wonder Woman in there, I don't think that it would have drastically changed the, you know, trajectory of the show. Maybe some more people tune in, but it doesn't make them demonstrably more entertained. I mean, heck, Coco won twice already. So, you know, I just think at the end of the day, there's some monotony to the Oscars that I don't know if you ever can get rid of. Unless it's truly unpredictable.
That makes. I feel like if he had won, it would have changed my whole perspective. But
right, and I think that's another point too. It was a very unpredictable Best Picture race, but if it was between movies that people were more passionate about, totally different story. Like if it was Lady Bird versus Get Out, I think the anticipation would have really paid off, you know, or disappointed people drastically. But because those 3 Billboards in Shape of Water, which is, you know, a movie some people dislike and a movie some people just like, you know, it's I don't know, it's just it's only you only can get so hyped for it when you're waiting for it to happen for 3.5 hours or however long it takes.
Well, another Oscars in the book. Also, one thing I wanted to shout before we wrap up: the stage and the set were incredible. I don't know if it was different than usual, but it really stood out to me that it was like when I forgot who it was that was like showing off the jet ski, which might have been the most annoying running joke on Twitter all night. Yeah, Helen Mirren. But like when that like came up, it was like an ice like background. I was like, this is like some White Walker
ice
shit right here. But it was awesome. But yeah, man. The only other news that really dropped during the Oscars is Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson are having a baby girl.
Oh, interesting. I knew I knew she was pregnant, but
and Mindy Kaling apparently is pregnant too. So
nice. We got a little House of Cards final season teaser, a little Mary Poppins Returns teaser.
Roseanne.
Yep, that's right, Roseanne. Literally advertising itself to red states. You know, that was the patch line. It's like we're the family like everyone else. Like it's like okay, like if you really think that's gonna get the ratings, do you? I guess.
Yeah,
it is a reboot after all.
But yeah, I mean, overall, another Oscars in the book. It won't be too much interesting tomorrow, but The Ringer always finds a way to surprise me. But movie 2018, Mooster, Annihilate, Point the Date, and then Isle of Dogs coming up, Wrinkle in Time. A lot of movies coming up. So
I'm gonna go see Jennifer Lawrence Sex Spies and report back. So stay tuned for that at Nowstalgia Pod. Tweet at us your thoughts about the Oscars at Nowstalgia Pod. Were you psyched? Were you pissed? What happened? What'd you think? Just because it was predictable doesn't mean you were happy about it. So let us know what you thought.
Yep. And just before we wrap up, prayers to Ricky Rose.
Yeah.
Aston Martin music in the hospital. So can't be losing him.
Yeah.
I had to go back and listen to Devil in a New Dress, and I've been all weekend ever since.
Yeah.
So
Cocaine running through my big veins, man. Gotta be careful.
and please share the pod with friends. Give us a rating, review on iTunes, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also follow us on Twitter so you can spread the love and interact with us. Looking forward to another year and talking to Oscars in 2019. Have a good night, everybody.